Hari Om. Do your duty, lessons in letters. Get set, trick. Chennai see you inspiring youth to look ahead. Operation Sindoor, the new normal. Gayatri Jayanti, or the day of manifestation of goddess Gayatri, is observed on Shukla Paksha Ekadashi of the Jyeshtha month in the Hindu calendar. Gayatri Devi, often considered as the consort of Lord Brahma, is the mother of the Vedas and bestower of enlightenment. This year, Gayatri Jayanti falls on 6th June 2025. However, in some parts of India, Gayatri Jayanti is also observed on Shravana Purnima day, usually in July or August. Editor's note, dear reader, the past month has been tumultuous for every Indian. We witnessed an almost war-like situation with Pakistan that brought back memories of the 1971 Bangladesh War and 1999 Kargil War scenarios, with a troublesome neighbor to our west, an imposing dictatorial giant to the north, and fragmented, fledgling democracies to the east and south. India's neighborhood has always been a cause of tension. However, an Operation Sindoor demonstrated India continues to stand its ground, that we will not tolerate any form of terrorism, and every violent act here henceforth will be considered an act of war. The Indian armed forces have displayed commendable restraint, hitting not only at terrorist bases and defending Indian civilian space without launching any attack on the Pakistani civilians. Further, India has maintained its economic and cultural positions strongly without compromising on the development trajectory. We are bound to acknowledge this new normal for India. We are obliged to offer our respects and gratitude to the military who have so bravely risen to the occasion. Jai Jawan, Jai Hind. Love editors. What is in mind? Can it be tamed? Develop contentment. 1. You have got a point. Becoming a master of the body. 8. Veins of physical discipline. Read daily, live fully. How to know our Swadharma duty. Between the lines, Mahamrutyunjay insights and inspiration. Ram, the man of Treta Yuga. Ram in anguish. Om for life. Anger management. The Chinmay way. Check news facing stigmas and rising above them. Mentorship. Saga's first retreat. Sanghas first retreat. India first. Operation Sindoor, the new normal. Mindful whispers, absolute good or relative good. Readers write. Learning how to learn. Readers write. Do trade and terror go together. Ramayan reboot. Leadership 1. Let us go climbing hills and calming storms. Yelagiri story. Light-hearted WhatsApp TITI. Destiny lol. Figure it out. calculator grid, names of Goddess Saraswati, root to our roots, prayers, wise nuggets. महाम्भोधे तीरे कनकरुचिरे नीलशिखरे वसन्प्रासादान्तः सहजबलभद्रेण बलिना सुभद्रा मध्यस्थः सकलसुरसेवावसरदो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयनपथगामी भवतु मे. Jagannatashtakam prayers. I meditate on Sri Jagannath Swami residing on the shore of the great ocean within a large palace situated upon the crest of the brilliant golden Nilachal hill, accompanied by his brother Balabhadra, who is endowed with great strength, and with their sister Subhadra, stationed in the middle, who gives all the Suras, Devas the opportunity to serve him and bring fulfillment in their lives. May that Jagannath Swami be my guide and bless me by his darshan in my vision. Jagannathashtakam. Mind, can it be tamed? By Swami Swarupananda. Develop contentment, part 1. A sattvic mind is our best friend. A mind that is predominantly rajasic or tamasic is a cause of spiritual bondage. It can never lead to that true sense of freedom and peace which can be severed no matter what one's outer circumstances are. As already pointed out earlier, desires can be conquered not by understand that contentment is not attained by acquiring more and more, because there never really is a finish line to our wants and desires. Rather, contentment is developed by recognizing how much we already have. We have likely heard the story about a man who mumbled and grumbled about not having any shoes. Denial and suppression by sublimation, by active performance of duties, uh, and a pursuit of nobler goals in life. But what about anger and frustration? How does one overcome that feeling of bitterness, resentment, of regret that many a time simmers beneath one's smiley public face? If the origin of desire is imagination, then the source of anger is unfulfilled desire. Nip that anger in the bud by increasing your level of contentment until until he saw another man who was an amputee below the knees. There and then The proverbial glass that seemed half empty now appeared half full. The agitation surrounded, the lack of shoes dropped off. His troubled mind came to a rest, and he felt a new sense of clarity and freedom, enabling him to think more constructively and creatively about how to acquire a pair of shoes, if he even really needed them. Hence, let not a day pass by without counting your blessings. You have got a point by Adityan Divakar Vidya, chief member, becoming a master of the body, eight veins of physical discipline, sitting straight, posture defines personality. We spend most of our days glued to a chair and stapled to our screens. A straight back fixes many of the ills that come with a sedentary lifestyle. Walking straight, we have evolved from Homo erectus, not from Homo slouchus. The itch of walking with a bent back must be broken. Replace it with a strong, confident stride with back, neck, and feet aligned perfectly. It's going to hurt, but trust me, it's worth the effort. Eating without distraction. Food is the ahuti to the embers of the bodily flame. Vaishvanara. I certainly cannot recall any yajna that was performed while watching television and while gossiping. Can you? Let us turn eating into a sacred yajna, uninterrupted by the relentless chatter around us. Avoiding fiddling with our fingers. They are visual equivalents of oh, and all the rest. This kills our confidence before it's even born and reflects a mind that is constantly tossing and turning in a bed of anxieties. Not biting nails. Advice given to 2-year-old also applies to people 10 times that age. Infections, chipped teeth, and misaligned incisors are all just the beginning of the harms that nail biting can entail. The stomach certainly doesn't appreciate keratin mixing in with all the sugars and proteins. Avoiding late nights. I am a night owl is a synonym for I don't care about my health. The circadian rhythm goes out of the window. Diseases walk right in, and tamasic thoughts begin to enact their wretched dance in our minds. A fast paced life may have taken over our day. Let us at least protect our nights. Applying tilak. Ornaments do not always have to be made of gold or diamonds. The tilak signifies something far more precious, Bhagavan. It reminds us of whom we serve, what we must uphold, and most importantly, who we are, Hindus. Regularly applying oil. We have two choices: apply oil regularly or become bald before turning 40. We are losing hair faster than ever, courtesy a polluted environment and preservative pumped shampoos that we voraciously rip off shelves. A head massage with oil is one way we can try to arrest that. Read daily, live fully with Swami Chinmayananda. How to know our Swadharma duty. Having chosen the field, it is up to us to pursue it in a spirit of dedication and reap the harvest of our success in life and abiding peace within. When we are born, we bring with us some tendencies and inclinations, vasanas, from the past, and these are the primary factors for our choices and actions, achievements and losses in life. One's duty must spring from one's own character, swabhava. In other words, the superficial must reflect the profundity in us. Almost always, one is able to intuitively sense what sort of life one should choose by selecting a path of action according to one's character and living up to it in a spirit of dedication. One slowly exhausts the vasanas inherent in the personality. Thus, the heavy burden gets lighter and lighter. On the other hand, in working against one's inborn tendencies, life becomes a burden and all cheer and joy vanish. To act against the grain of one's vasanas would be performing contrary action para dharma. Duties and activities fall under the well recognized four ancient categories: studies and allied fields catering to the studious intellects, the Brahmans, power, politics, leadership, and so on to satisfy those born with a flair for leadership. The Kshatriyas, commercial minded businessmen, the Vaishyas, those dedicated to the service of mankind, the Shudras. It now becomes our responsibility to conduct an inquiry into ourselves and ascertain to what type we belong and where our deeper interest lies. When I have leadership qualities, the best way of life for me would be to pursue the leadership of the society rather than suffer as a servant. If I am commercial minded, business would be my chosen vocation. When the spirit of service dominates my mental makeup, I can find happiness and satisfaction only in the service above all. In the service. Above all, if I am spiritually inclined, it is up to me to pursue that tendency and walk the path toward my own spiritual unfoldment. Having chosen the field, it is up to us to pursue it in a spirit of dedication and reap the of harvest of outer success in life and abiding peace within. Depending on whether you can work in cooperation or not, you can make heaven on earth or a hell of even heaven. Between the Lines by Asha Bisesar Chik, United Kingdom. Mahamrutyunjay Insights and Inspiration. Asha is a medical doctor by profession in the field of neurology with other interests such as music, reading, creative writing, and nature walks, runs. I have pondered on the best way to relay my views and reflections on this deceptively small book, Mahamrutyunjay Insights and Inspiration by Swami Swarupananda. I was first introduced to this book at the Chinmay Mission, United Kingdom's Bhagavan Shiva Yajna in September 2024. I felt the knowledge imparted on the greatness of Bhagavan Shiva during this yajna was a great gift. The book explores the Mahamrutyunjay mantra in a way that provokes contemplation about the deep meaning of life. This four-line mantra is a valuable tool to aid us in our daily lives. Mahamrutyunjay, the mantra of life over death. Insights and Inspiration by Swami Swarupananda. It is not unusual to hear this mantra echoing in places of worship and hospitals. It is hoped the mantra protects one from untimely death. Many of us have chanted this mantra without having an idea of the colossal meaning behind the lines. I, for one, learned much after reading this text. This book delves into the tapestry of this mantra, revealing the profound depth of each word. The introduction details the power and efficacy behind the recitation and contemplation of mantras. I connected more with this part of the book as we usually recite mantras in an obligatory manner. I found this section especially helpful for beginners who would like to take up the chanting of mantras or japa. The text highlights each line of the powerful mantra. ॐ त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीय मामृतात्. Here are some concepts that I found thought provoking at a personal level and which prompted reflection. First, the concept of death is evaluated. We often associate death with sadness, yet every day death occurs all around us. There is death of the day, death of plants and death of people. A very crucial point outlined in the text is that change is a form of death. Furthermore, many of us live life as if there is no expiry date. Lives today are lived with a momentary mindset. Focus tends to be placed on joys and sorrows without bearing in mind that these are temporary. We therefore ask with this mantra to be liberated from death. One of the first terms, Trambakam, is beautifully explained. The term refers to Bhagavan Shiva as the one with three eyes, the eyes of justice, compassion, and wisdom. Swamiji says our critical judgment should be softened by our compassion. One question we may ask ourselves is what are we trying to attain in this life? How much are we sharing with others? Swami Chinmayananda states, service of the people is service of the Lord of Lords. An important point to remember, which is strongly echoed in this text, is that being godly in behavior is giving and forgiving, a true praise of the Lord. This is Yajamahi. Pushtivardhanam is elucidated as one who nourishes growth. We need to delve within to understand that which nourishes all. The penultimate line focuses on detachment from bondage. The apt term Urvarukam Iva is exquisitely explained. The last line of the mantra compares mrityor, death, to forgetfulness. Contrastingly, yajna is explained as remembrance. We need to remember our true nature so that we can attain moksha or freedom. There is a special gift at the end of the text. I will purposefully omit revealing what this is, as I think it is best experienced by the reader after fully reading and reflecting on the words of the book. The Mahamrutyunjay mantra is a potent mantra that has real world applications. It is not just a mantra for people on hospital beds or for people who are suffering. We all face life's challenges, and with every passing day, we must learn to embrace life and fully live. I strongly recommend this text to gain a deeper understanding of such a simple yet dynamic mantra, Mahamrutyunjay mantra. ॐ त्र्यम्बकै यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीय मामृतात् हरि ओम. DM for Life by Trishna Gulrajani. DM is anger management the Chinmaya way. When I explore and review the most inspiring and memorable moments of my life so far, I find that what I have cherished most and learned most from is a sense of connectedness. Mind you, It is not a natural byproduct of communication. Our entire day goes in communicating, but we often miss out on true connectedness, those aha moments of relating to someone on a non superficial level, that leave one feeling uplifted in a never before kind of way. If you have ever had a mentor who pushed you beyond your self imposed limits to discover a fresh and looking new way of looking at something by broadening your horizons, you will know exactly what I am referring to. This is not necessarily an in person experience, nor is it always linear and direct. That's why we find there is so much to learn simply by reading or hearing about great mentors and their proteges. We are not in the equation at all, yet we can apply someone else's experience to our own life. If we keep our eyes and ears open, we can find means for connection and learning all around us. And these add a particular beauty of dimension, layer, and angle to our lives. One such channel that we are fortunate to have access to is the letters of great thinkers of Bharat to their contacts, followers, and sometimes even to their critics. We may not have met them in person, but that doesn't stop us from learning from their advice. Perhaps the fact that you are reading this piece is a sign that the selected excerpt was meant to reach you via this DM. The first example is from a letter written by Swami Chinmayananda on 26th June 1961. Anger comes to us when our desires or expectations are disturbed and defeated. Anger is nothing but the desire of attachment, expectations, and hope obstructed. Again, when you meet such an occasion, at least after the wave of anger has subsided, reconsider the entire situation and try to mentally live and relive 100 times the same situation. All the time, see that you keep yourself smiling. After all, another has an equal right to be bad, mischievous, foul mouthed, dirty, and undisciplined, as you have the right to be good, cheerful, clean, and even peaceful. Give the devil its due. Accept this as policy. Anger will not rise. Also, flood the mind with unreserved love for all, always. You will have no occasion to be angry. Improve your health. A loaded paragraph which has something for all of us in there. In less than 130 words, Swami Chinmayananda shares an entire module on anger management. He explains why one gets angry, what anger is, and what to do to curb anger. When reading this, you might be thinking, I already relive the situation over and over, but that's just brooding. Don't miss the instruction to keep oneself smiling the whole time. A seemingly simple approach, but powerful when practiced. He goes on to encourage the reader to practice positive values, but also to accept that others have the right to be who they are, and they would have their own reasons for doing so. Finally, alluding to the negative impact that anger has on health, he prescribes the highest dose of unreserved love for all, love that is unrestricted, limitless, and complete in itself. This is so much more than just a reply to a follower. This is a life hack if I ever saw one. Ram, the man of Treta Yuga, a Chinmay Udghosh publication. Ram in anguish. विनष्टसीतान् वेषकरान् विनष्टसीतान् वेषकरान्. On being constantly urged by Sita, Lakshman reluctantly leaves her side to look for Sri Ram. Lakshman runs towards the forest, leaving Sita in the protection of the Lakshman Rekha, a type of protective field he has drawn around the hut, informing her that she would be safe as long as she remains inside. As soon as he leaves, Ravana approaches Sita, disguised as a sage. He is so besotted by her celestial beauty and youth that even under disguise he is unable to resist craving and describing her beauty. Assuming he is an ascetic, Sita steps over the Lakshman Rekha to perform all the prescribed rites of hospitality, honoring him. The moment she steps out, Ravan throws off his disguise and audaciously states his intention to take her to his palace and marry her. Sita stands aghast. Being truly devoted to her lord, she rejects Ravan's proposals and extols the glories of her righteous husband. She scorns Ravan with bitter words, reminds him of the great sin of lusting for another's wife, unable to charm her and enraged by her rejection. Ravan forcibly carries her off in his flying chariot, the Pushpaka Viman. Meanwhile, sensing a sinister plot, Sri Ram returns to the hermitage and notices an eerie silence that descended over the entire forest. Upon discovering Sita's disappearance, he breaks down in grief. He wanders through the forest and the mountains like a possessed man, questioning every flower and animal in his path about Sita's whereabouts. Fearing the worst, the beloved of Sita cries that he cannot survive without her, the one who has followed him into exile, renouncing all comforts of the palace. He laments that she is now gone due to his inability to protect her. He wishes to die rather than face Sita's father, who lovingly entrusted his daughter unto him. This episode symbolically indicates that an unbridled mind that is allowed to gush out into the world of sense pleasures is sure to be snared by its illusory enchantments and thus stays walked away from the peace and beauty of the true self, the Atman, the Lord within. Vinashta Sita Anveshaka Ram, who was in search of Sita, who was lost in the forest. Chick News by Team Mentorship Sangha. Facing stigmas and rising above them. Mentorship Sangha's first retreat. Established in 2021, Mentorship Sangha, an initiative of Chinmay Mission Niagara, has united over 300 seekers across 100 plus cities to support one another in living a life rooted in Sanatan Dharma. Through thoughtful mentee pairings and monthly wellness workshops, the program offers space to explore sensitive topics in accordance with Vedantic principles. After 5 years of connecting virtually, this inspiring community gathered in person for the first annual Mentorship Sangha retreat in March 2025 with the gracious support of Chinmay Mission Cleveland. True to its values, Mentorship Sangha focused the retreat on facing stigmas and rising above them, welcoming seekers in their teens to their 60s. Chinmay Gayatri, inaugurated by His Holiness Swami Swarupananda, Global Head of Chinmay Mission, on 4th August 2024, facing stigmas and rising above them. Sounds like, as Sri Vivek Gupta of Chinmay Niagara shared, the feelings evoked from this retreat felt similar to that of a yatra. Truly, seekers were transported to and held in a nurturing environment through the grace of Devi Gayatri to share insights around three themes: exploring identity, understanding mental health, and redefining success. These sessions invited deep introspection into personal narratives and values, Participants explored understanding of mental health in comparison with mental illness, discussing how communities can dismantle stigma with compassion and support. Seekers also reflected on the ways they judge themselves and explored how to live beyond externally defined standards of achievement. A highlight of the retreat was a powerful trust fall activity, an act of collective vulnerability, 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 vulner, vulner, vulnerability. Every participant embraced the sense of unity and mutual upliftment was unforgettable. We look forward for the next mentorship Sangha retreat in 2026. Stay tuned. Calculator grid. Enter a number from 1 to 16 in each cell of the grid using each number exactly once so that all equations are correct. The calculations must be done strictly from left to right, from top to bottom, and from top to bottom. There is no operator precedence. All results of divisions must be integers without remainder. Solution on page 11. Page 41. अच्छा. Oh, -9 is also there. See, -9 -8. What's Up by Pankaj Lohia. Sustainability of artificial intelligence due to GPU pollution. The sustainability of artificial intelligence is increasingly challenged by GPU pollution, particularly as trends like generating Ghibli styles images gain popularity. This trend incites the environmental strain caused by AI's computational demands. Energy consumption, training, and deploying artificial intelligence models require significant energy, contributing to high carbon emissions. For instance, a single large language model can emit hundreds of tons of CO2, comparable to the annual emissions of hundreds of households. Hardware production, the manufacturing of GPUs, involves energy intensive processes and the use of rare earth metals, further increasing emissions. Water usage and pollution. Artificial intelligence data centers consume vast amounts of water for cooling, leading to substantial wastewater discharge. This wastewater can contain chemicals and heavy metals, posing risks to local water bodies and ecosystems if not properly treated. To mitigate these impacts, strategies include transitioning to renewable energy, optimizing manufacturing process, and developing more efficient artificial intelligence models. Edge computing offers a more sustainable alternative by reducing energy consumption and data transfer costs. Moreover, artificial intelligence can also accelerate sustainability by optimizing energy consumption and resource usage in various sectors. However, balancing artificial intelligence's benefits with its environmental footprint is crucial for sustainable development. As artificial intelligence continue to evolve, addressing its sustainability challenges will be essential to ensure that its transformative potential is realized without exacerbating environmental issues. शङ्कर उवाच का संरक्ष्या कीर्तिः पतिव्रता नैजबुद्धिश्च what who shall be protected fame gained from good deeds those committed to their marriage vows and one's ability to discern right from wrong is to be protected. Wise negates पुंस अयं संस्कृतेः तु असन्तोष अर्थकामयोः यदृच्छया उपपन्नेन सन्तोषो मुक्तये स्मृतः. The dissatisfaction due to the wealth and desires is the reason for the samsara for a man. Contentment rising from the understanding that whatever I get in my life is by God's wish becomes the cause of liberation. Transforming Indians to transform India. Lala Hamsaraj, 1863, 14th November 1938, was a great educationist from Hoshiarpur in Punjab. He was greatly inspired by Swami Dayananda Saraswati and started the Dayananda Anglo-Vedic group of schools and colleges, DAV. He lived a selfless life of service, wanting to take Indic-based education to all students. Further, it was Hamsaraj's suggestion
Jaya Shri Ram, Jaya Raghuram,
on the Indian flag.
Janaki Jeevana Sundar Ram, Devaganarchita. Jaya Shri Ram.